there, my name is Bruce Rain from Breakers Creations and welcome to my live stream today. It is Sunday morning here, just after 11 a.m. and it is a overcast day, but at least it's dry and we're always happy about that here because it rains so much. Quick hello to Thomas is here, Jack68K, Starbuck Tech, another Joe, no hang on, no sorry, Joe from Joe's Computer Museum. I only read that the one time. Hello to Joe. Apples Anonymous, hello. SadMac356, Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack, Starbuck Tech. Did I already say hello to you? If I didn't, I'm sorry. I'm getting very confused here. Reed Reinfeld, hello. Oh, Patrick is here. Hello, Patrick. I haven't seen you in ages. I hope you have been well. Carthor, hello. Mystery Margot, hello. Patrick Pitts. Taylor Buchanan, Eric Smith. Did I miss anyone? I felt like I did a terrible job of reading through those. I felt like I did some twice and some not at all. So if I missed you, I do apologise. Right, okay. Let's just see if there's anything here I need to respond to, because other than just hellos, hello. Now, my desk is really messy again, or still, depending on how you want to look at it. Got a hard drive here out of something. Not even sure what I've taken that from, but here it is. 1.2 gigabyte. It doesn't say dead on it, so it probably still works. I have a tendency to write dead on the drives that don't work. Have a look at this fella. Where is it? Oh, under here. Look at this monstrosity. This is a full height 3.5 inch quantum drive. I don't know what the capacity is. I imagine it probably was reasonably big at the time. Anyhow, it's dead. It's dead as a doornail. That's unfortunately, and even deader now because I've taken the lid off. But see, that's not right. That's not right. It shouldn't be doing that. Anyhow, it's got these, like, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? It's like 6 great big massive platters or something like that. Yeah. Oh, I see. That's that thing moving around. Yeah. So anyhow, totally dead. Couldn't get it to work. But got that one. It was in a little Rodime case. It was given to me by Charlie Gellar. I'm not sure if that's how his surname is pronounced because I don't think I've ever pronounced it before. But anyhow, he sent me like a big Rodime case. And this is the drive that was in it. This was not the original drive that would have been in it, I can tell you that for sure. But unfortunately, the case is of no use to me because it's 120 volts. If I plug that in here to our 235 odd volts, it'll probably blow up. I'm doing better, thank you. I hope you are doing well. I am indeed. Thank you very much, Patrick. A couple of things. Yesterday I had a fairly interesting day. I mean, apart from obviously, I went out to a lunch yesterday, which is all very nice. Ate some Ethiopian food, which was also very tasty. Now, what happened is I woke up yesterday morning, and I was just looking at Facebook. I woke up quite early, looking at Facebook, and I see a post in one of the groups. I don't even know which group it was, but it was a video posted by EEV Blog. For those who don't know, EEV Blog, David Jones, you know, really clever guy, does some amazing stuff. I mean, he's that guy's an absolute genius. So, excellent. His channel's got, I don't know, like 800 and something thousand subscribers or something like that. So, he's a very big player in the YouTube world, and as I say, deservedly so. Very, very smart. Anyhow, video that he had posted it on, I think, Friday, and it was him rocking up to a warehouse sale of Jacquard. Now, people who aren't familiar with Jacquard, that's where I buy a lot of my electronic-y type stuff. I buy my solder wick there, bits and pieces. I mean, I can't buy the really pro stuff there, but I can get a lot of stuff. I can get resistors and I can get capacitors, but, I mean, I would generally not use the those capacitors that they sell for recapping and stuff like that. I buy sort of better quality stuff. But anyhow, that's another story. So anyhow, this video that they're having a warehouse relocation sale at the Rydalmere Jacquard, which is, if you're not familiar with the area, that means nothing to you. But anyhow, that's about a 20-minute drive from where I live. And and it was a 3-day sale. Went Thursday, Friday, last day Saturday, which is yesterday. And I just looked at some of the stuff that was there and the prices they were going for, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So so anyhow, I just sort of said to my wife, because we had this lunch thing that we were going to, we had to be sort of back home and ready to go by about 11:30 or something like that. And I just said to my wife, I'm getting ready in a hurry and I'm heading over there. And she said, I'm coming too. So the two of us got ready quickly. We jumped into the car, headed out to this Rydalmere warehouse. We sort of parked across the road because it looked a little bit chaotic inside. Went in, and a lot of the good stuff had gone. A lot of the really good stuff had gone. If you were looking for a discount on a portable fridge, you know, like a car fridge, you would have done really well, but I don't want a portable car fridge. But they had just pallets and pallets of boxes. Some boxes open, some boxes unopened, and they just had bits in them, stuff. It wasn't ideal for me. There were a couple of things. If I had been able to find, say, for instance, a whole stack of these 50-pin SCSI connectors or something like that, I would have bought a box of them. If they had have sold, I don't know, USB sockets or SD card sockets or something like that, I would have bought those. But they didn't have anything like that. They had some ribbon cable. Again, if it had been 50-pin ribbon cable, I would have bought that because I could have just made as many SCSI cables as I want. But there were lots of things there that were almost what I wanted, but not quite. And whether they were already gone, people bought them on the days before. And they were selling boxes of resistors, like, you know, your standard, like axial resistor, through hole, you know, sort of axial resistor. They were selling boxes of them, and they were like $1 a box, and a box had like 5,000 resistors in it, but they were all of the same size, you know. So if I wanted to get a bit of a range of resistors, I would have had to have bought. Would have been walking out of there with like a pallet full of resistors, because I I don't just want one size. I want lots of different sizes. Anyhow, I ended up coming away with an RJ crimping tool, you know, for doing Ethernet cables. I got 5 USB cables. They're standard USB at one end and they're micro USB at the other end, but they have a little attachment that you can change it to USB-C if you want. So they work as micro SD, micro USB, or USB-C. So I bought 5 of those, and I bought 4 little power supplies, nice little 240 volt to 12 volt, 4.2 amp power supplies, nice little things. They're designed for putting in, you know, like putting inside kits and stuff like that, projects where you might want to run some fans or something like that. And I got that lot. I've got 4 of those power supplies, and I got that for $15. So yeah, but anyhow, I was rushed because I had a lunchtime thing, so I'm moving around, you know, like really quickly, as fast as I could, you know. I really would have loved to have had more time there. I think I probably could have spent close to a day there and really started rifling through some of the boxes they had there, because there were some boxes where they had like a product description on them, and I couldn't figure out what they were, and they were sealed up and they were wrapped up with you know, the plastic wrap sort of things. You know, it was really hard to actually access them. I think it would have been a good idea to turn up there with a pair of scissors or a Stanley knife or something like that. But anyhow, it happened. I'm annoyed with myself that I didn't. I got an email about it, an email notification from JCar, because I'm a member with them, and I got an email notification about the sale and I didn't see it, and so I didn't find out about it until it was already the last day of the sale. So very annoyed with myself. But anyhow, I have talked for way too long about that. Today we're going to be recapping a Macintosh Color Classic logic board. There's another one sent to me by a customer. He sent me a few boards. He also sent me the analog board for this, which I'll be having a look at, because the analog boards to these do run into strife as well. I'll just go to the top view so we can see the mess. Meows. Someone asked me last time why I have this here. It needs repairing, but it's a pain to repair. So these little transformers here transfer 240 volts into whatever voltage is driving these. There's 2 of them, and one drives one half of the LEDs and the other one drives the other half of the LEDs. And these caps fail on them, so I've replaced the caps. But I think this one is still not working, and I think it's mainly because these wires are so cheap, they sort of start to fail. So someone asked me last time why it was there. That's why it's there. I'm trying to fix it. So Important thing about this Color Classic board, it is one of the later ones, and the reason why I know that is because it has a Rayovac square battery on it, rather than the half AA, which would have normally been here. The holder would have been there, and that there goes there, and there, and there, and there. You can tell it's one of these, obviously, you can tell it's one of these later boards because even if you don't have the battery, you'll have this little thing. The little Velcro-y thing, you know that. Obviously the battery holder is not here. And then you'll find a little diode just there. It's hard to see, I realise, but just there is a diode. And that diode is only on the Color Classic boards that have the modification to run off these 4.5 volts rather than the 3.6 volts. Jeff Bernard, hello. Luke F, hello. Saw that JCar video as well, but I'm in Melbourne. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you by the time I went there, a lot of that really good stuff was gone. But having said that, there was still an amazing array of things there. I should have bought more. Anyhow, we'll worry about that another. I bought some Tacky Flux earlier, but I couldn't spring for the Amtech V3 stuff that I really wanted to try. I got the Chip Quick stuff instead. Isn't that funny? Chip Quick is way more expensive here than Amtech. For me, Amtech is the discount option. The Chip Quick stuff here costs an absolute fortune. Which Chip Quick stuff did you get, just out of curiosity? Because there is one that I really like, and I have it here. I think I have it here. Under things, because that's how I do it. That's how I do it. I have things under things. There it is. So this is the one. This is the Chip Quick that I really rate. I quite like this one. This is the SMD 4300 Tacky Flux 10. I definitely have good things to say about this one. The other Chip Quick, I'm not a big fan of. It smells a bit. I mean, I know they all smell, but you know, it's a bit pongy. It gets in your nose. Anyhow, look at this. I made a sticker, recapped by Brankus Creations, but they don't stick onto the boards very well. Yeah, you know, if I try and stick them onto here or something like that, you know, they don't stick very well. But anyhow, not to worry. Right, so let's find out what the job number is for this one, and then we will start recapping it. I only have 2 hours to dedicate to this live stream today, so I apologise to people who might have been expecting me to go for hours and hours and hours, turn it into a Mac 84 Steve stream. Not going to be today, I'm afraid. It's a long scuzzy cable. I don't know what that's there for. Let's have a look here. Let's go to my job tracking software, and we'll go ning, and then we'll go ning, and then we'll go ning, ning, and then look at that right at the top of the list, Joe Strosnider. I've got an SE30 in here. So, Color Classic, this is job number 171. Now, do I have a writing device? I do. 171. I better clean off the old number on this here. I'm going to reuse this plastic bag because we need to be environmentally aware, and we need to make sure we're reusing things where we can. Recycling is good, but reusing is even better. 171. There we go. This one is for David. Hello to David if you're watching. I don't think you are, but if you are, if you were, or you do later on, hello to David. This is your computer. Color Classic. Stupid computer that everyone likes. What I mean by that is it really was a very, very silly, impractical computer that got released. I'm pretty sure it's one of the many computers that was like 32-bit chip on a 16-bit bus. There were a few of those around at the time. It's very frustrating. Oh, I fried a Zulu SCSI the other day. Well, I should say my 9500 did it. It's not the Zulu SCSI's fault, and it wasn't really mine either. I had a computer, a 9500 that in pretty poor condition. And anyhow, I went to plug it in and use it, and it didn't work. Nothing. Dead as a doornail. And then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, it just went pop. And the lights came on the logic board, and then nothing worked after that, even with a new power supply. That board is fried, and this is fried. So that was a little bit disappointing. So that was a 9500 that is no more. It is now a spare parts machine. Very sad. Shady Robot, hello. I need to build a job tracking tool. You can use mine if you want, Joe. You can certainly try it out. You know, feel free. Feel free. I've already got Jay from the House of Moth using my one, and I've got Steve Mac84. Having said that, Steve Mac84 is not doing a lot of repairs lately, in case anyone's noticed. I dropped something, but I've got no idea what it was or where it's gone. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be looking for. All I heard was something hit the ground. Oh well, can't be that important. Okay, so let's write the job number on this one, 7117. I've got a label printer. I've got two label printers, and it was my plan to keep one down here, but now they're both up in the house now, which is just silly. Does not make sense. So yeah, very sad about the 9600 dying, but at the end of the day, sorry, 9500. If it was 9600, it would be an absolute, you know, crime. 9500, not so bad. 9500s have that case where you have brittle plastic and the thing's just falling apart. It's terrible. I'm going to contact this guy and ask him if he wants me to stick a standard half AA battery holder in here and essentially revert it back to a normal one, because you can't get hold of these 4.5 volt Rayovac batteries. So if you're going to use them, you kind of need to have a little like AAA battery holder or something like that, and you know, and put 3 AAA batteries into a little holder, and because it's a bit bulky, the little half AA I reckon is much easier. And of course, as if you want to have a battery in there, with a lot of these vintage computers, I don't even bother keeping a battery in them because I use them so infrequently. You switch them on, set the time, set the mouse thingy thing, and then that's it. Greg Brady's here. Hello there. Why did Apple change around this time with 4.6 volt batteries? They seem to go back to the half AA batteries for life. It's a good question. I can only assume that these Rayovac batteries, these 4.5 volt ones, I can only assume that they, there we go, that they were cheaper or something like that. They were getting them for a better price, or maybe they were potentially going to last longer or something like that. But you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know that it's even a lithium battery. These are terrible, by the way. They leak too, even though they're all sealed up in plastic. They still leak. They maybe don't do the same sort of explodery type stuff. Look at that, we've got corrosion on the pins. They don't do the same sort of explodery type stuff that some of the half AA's do, but they still leak. I've definitely seen that. I've got a board which is destroyed by one of these. Another bus crippled classic logic board to fix. Indeedy. If they don't need a battery to boot, keep them out. Yeah, that's not a bad philosophy. That is not a bad philosophy. Now, what have we got here? I got to look at something here. Breakfast question. To answer your question earlier, I got the Chip Quick NC19130cc. Okay, cool. NC191. I wonder if that's the one that I had. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Obviously, there's really nothing wrong with that. It's a perfectly good flux. I mean, I'm very, very thingy about which flux I want to use. So, very, very thingy. Jeffrey Edwards, quick questions. I know it's not on topic, however, I found you through your ultrasonic cleaner videos. Would you clean PCBs with simple green and distilled green? What's simple green? I don't know what simple green is. And distilled water. Thanks, appreciate your time. So I've actually, I even ended up having a fairly heated discussion with someone on a Facebook group about this once, where he was basically saying, if you're using ultrasonic cleaner detergent, you are wasting your money. You should just use, I can't even remember what he was saying, just dish detergent or something like that. Now, the fact of the matter is, yes, you can use any detergent you want. As to how effective it is, or whether there might be some long-term repercussions associated with using a detergent not designed for cleaning PCBs, that I couldn't tell you. I mean, I think as long as you rinse them off very well at the end, you're probably fine. I use a very specific type of detergent, which is designed for, I don't have it here, so I can't show it to you. It is designed for cleaning circuit boards, and it actually says that it is, you know, designed to help remove things like flux and dirt and stuff like that without doing any sort of damage to the metals. And interestingly enough, there was another ultrasonic cleaner fluid that I tried once called Ambersil, and it did terrible things to the metal on the board. So I've never used it again. I just basically turfed it. Terrible stuff. I mean, actually, I don't turf it. I've still got the bottle floating around here somewhere, but it's because I'm not very good at throwing things away. So that was a very, very long answer, but short answer is I think you'll probably be fine. You just make sure you rinse it all off. But I can't make any guarantees about that stuff. As I say, the liquid I use is very specifically designed for PCB cleaning. So as to whether they do something special in it for that, I'm not really sure. Simple Green is a brand of cleanser. What sort of cleanser? Non-ammonia cleaner. I mean, is it like a surface cleaner, or is it like is it for cleaning dishes? Or, I mean, is it, so like for instance, this is what I use here. This is for cleaning surfaces. It's called Nifty. And look, it's hard working. It's hard working. And to my knowledge, it is the only surface cleaner that makes that claim. So that's why I buy it, because it's hard working. So yeah, anyhow, it's a degreaser, is it? Okay. I've heard of people using degreasers as ultrasonic cleaner things. Now, having said that, they're people cleaning car parts in them. They're not necessarily cleaning PCBs. So I wouldn't really want to go out and say, yep, go ahead and do that. Okay. Most ultrasonic cleaning is done at 55 degrees C to 60 C. I do mine at about 50. That's about where I set the temp on mine. The fluid I use says that you can just clean at room temp, but I find it more effective at the higher temperatures for cleaning. Simple Green equals Nifty. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty coarse. It's pretty harsh stuff. This Nifty stuff is pretty harsh. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've never tried, put it that way. You know, I've had some people that basically said that they would never stick certain boards into an ultrasonic cleaner because they're too worried they're going to disintegrate or something like that. You know, I've cleaned hundreds, literally hundreds of boards in an ultrasonic cleaner, and I've never really had any issue. What you might find is like on these metal components where there's printing on them, that printing might come off. You know, that can happen. You'll sometimes lose some of the printing on some of these components. It's not particularly good on aluminium capacitors, like as in radial capacitors, because they have that little bit of exposed aluminium at the top. And ultrasonic cleaning does weird stuff to aluminium because of the type of surface that it is. It's got little pits on it, little tiny pits, and it makes the little explosions, the little reactions. The what's it called? What's the word? I used to. I normally can just roll this off my tongue without it. Oh man, I've just drawn a blank. But anyhow, the little thingies they create little marks on aluminium. It looks ugly. It's not bad for them. Cavitation, that's the word. Thank you. God, normally that word's just one of the words I can just roll off my tongue. Maybe I'm just getting too old. That's what it is. I really appreciate all your comments and feedback. I am rebuilding a jet ski and the main board needs some cleanup. Really appreciate it. No worries at all. I'm happy to help wherever I can. Charlie's here. Hello there. I was just talking about you before. This is the hard drive that came out of that Rhodime drive that you sent over. So this would not be the original drive that was in it. Someone has upgraded it at some stage, but it's a Quantum. It's a full height 3.5 inch. So normally you would see these this size, you know, like this half height or even third height, but this is a full height 3.5 inch, and it's got like, I don't know, like 6 or 8 platters or something inside there. It's quite an amazing drive, this one, but it's dead. It's dead. It's dead, Jim. So yeah, can't be helped. Dave is here. Hello, Dave. Right, so anyhow, let's get started on this thing. You may not be able to see it. If I get the light reflecting on it, you can kind of see the areas where we've got the nasty capacitor leakage. I'm just trying to get the light at a particular angle. Yeah, we go. There you go. Can you see that? Around here, you can see where it's shining here, but then we've got this little shape going around the outside there of gooey, smeary yuckiness. And that is where we've had the capacitors leak. And this is the sound chip. And so that means that there's I'd say there's a very good chance that this either doesn't work or the sound doesn't work. One of the reasons why these potentially won't work, if you've got a Color Classic that hasn't been recapped and it doesn't work at all, there can be a couple of reasons. First of all, this capacitor here can leak right next to this chip here, which is the egret chip. And this chip here is talking to the ADB, and because this is a soft start, you press the ADB key, you press the power button on the ADB on the keyboard, you press that button to switch it on. So if this thing here has got some leaky electrolyte, which is conductive, and it's causing a short or something like that, that can mean that you won't even be able to get the computer to switch on. If it is completely dead with the button, I generally look in here. Then over here, this is the sound chip, and this is also involved with the reset circuit. So if you've got a leaky electrolyte around here, again creating a short, you could have it so that it's stuck on reset, and so you'll never get it started with that either. So anyhow, the moral to the story is that Color Classic logic boards need recapping, absolutely need recapping. We need to be careful with them because we've got these caps sitting right close to this plastic here. So you have to be super careful that you don't melt this connector. You've also got these ones sitting right next to the processor direct slot here. And of course we've got the serial number, which to some people doesn't really matter, but I know that some people do get very thingy about making sure the serial number remains intact. So I will take every care, every precaution that I can to not melt anything when I do this work. So I'm going to get some of this aluminum tape. It's interesting, in my ultrasonic cleaning video, I said aluminium, and then I said, or aluminum for my Northern Hemisphere friends, and I had a lot of people actually getting up in arms about that, because they were like, there are lots of countries in the Northern Hemisphere that say aluminium and not aluminum, it's only America. And of course the thing is that at the end of the day, my Northern Hemisphere friends are all in America. So what I was saying is strictly speaking correct, because my Northern Hemisphere friends say aluminum, but I do appreciate that lots of other countries in the world say aluminium. So anyhow, that's just that. Right, so I've got a few things here to try and mitigate any potential meltage. I'll just get another piece of this stuff because I just realised I didn't put any around this PDS slot. Sometimes I just use my metal heat shields like this, these little bladey things that I just from a little snap-off blade, snappity-snap. But in this instance here, I've got some weird shapes and that I want to work around, so the aluminium will work out quite well. What kind of multimeter should you recommend? Well, that's a very good thing to say. See, Dave, you know, it's really important. Anyone who's going to be doing this sort of work needs a multimeter. It's a given. It's one piece of equipment that you really should have to start off with. And tweezers and a multimeter. When it comes to a multimeter, it's very difficult to know which one to buy because, you know, they come in a variety of different ranges and prices, and they have a whole bunch of stuff that's like true RMS. What the hell is true RMS? I don't know. So anyhow, what you need to do is you need to find yourself that right balance of features, quality, and price. So the best thing for that is to go down the path of buying yourself a Kaiweets KM601 multimeter. This is a true RMS multimeter, and it's a smart multimeter as well. So yeah, smart. It's got this lovely big color screen, and all of this, you would think this is going to be a really expensive multimeter, wouldn't you? But no, this is actually a budget price multimeter. You get so many features for such a small price. I do have a review on this if you would like to know more about it. You can see me put it through its paces. If you are just saying, I don't even need to see the review after what you've said, I'm just going to buy one. There are links in the description. Okay, so thank you. Right. Just checking the chat. Checking the chat. Did I see? Oh, the House of Moth. Hello, Jay. Sorry, I didn't see you there. My apologies. I was too busy prattling on. Welcome to the live stream, Jay. I hope you enjoyed your night of blues. Everyone needs a bit of blues. Ooh, what's that? Oop, scope view. There we go. What are we looking at? We're looking at a socket there for a floating point unit. All right, so I think we're all good. Just check here. If it isn't Kaiweets, it's crap. Okay, let's get going. Excuse me. Okay, off you get. I managed to do that without melting anything? Yeah, I did. Whoa! Yay! As Kermit would say. One of the things I've often found with these boards is that if you have one popping cap, you're likely to have a whole stack of popping caps. Hey, just occurred to me. Can I just remind everyone to
smash that like button.
Yes, it does stink. This does stink, I can tell you that. I mean, everyone knows what it... Well, anyone who's done recapping knows what it smells like. I've got so much work to do today, I'm telling you. I have got to get a few things in order at the moment. There's a little bit of chaos going on. I have just had so many boxes of recapping sent to me lately. I did some recapping for someone. Sent a box off. Finished it, sent the box off with all the finished boards and everything. Like within a matter of days, the box came back. It's like, why is this box back? Did something go wrong? Oh, no, nothing went wrong. He got the box. That's the wrong view. He got the box, and then he took the recapped boards out, put some new boards in that need recapping, and sent it straight back to me. Sorry, I wasn't on a microscope view there. I don't know how that happened. I clearly bumped something. Not good, not good. Oh, another pop. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, let's move some of this heaty, shieldy stuff over here. Get rid of this little cap. Got this little guy. This guy. Come on, this guy. 10 microfarad, 16 volt. And then we've got one over here. Last time I was working on a Color Classic, I actually brought out my Color Classic and used my Color Classic analog board, and it didn't work. And I have since cleaned my analog board, and I'm hoping it will work this time. Is your fume extractor on? Thank you. I generally don't switch it on until I start soldering, but it would probably help with some of the stank. Which countries do most of the boards come from? The boards come from Australia. I don't really do much in the way of overseas stuff anymore. It's become a little bit complicated. And that's the reason why it's complicated is because people want to save on postage when they send stuff to me. They don't want to just send one board. They'll send me like 5 or 6 in one go. And then I get these boards sitting here, and the same thing happens in reverse. I might recap 4 of them, but the 5th one has all sorts of problems and need diagnosis and stuff like that. And those ones that are problem boards that need more time spent on them tend to get put aside. I have no choice but to put them aside because a board like that might take me all day, whereas I can recap a whole bunch of boards in a single day. And if I spend too much time on one board, the other recapping just piles up and up and up and up. So what I do with the problem boards is I tend to put them to one side, and then I just try and work on them a bit at a time when I can. You know, a couple of hours here and then a couple of hours there, just trying to squeeze it in to just to my day. And for that reason, those problem boards end up taking a lot longer to do. So I end up in this situation where I've recapped 4 boards, and then I've got this one board sitting here. I can't invoice for it because it's incomplete. I can't send it back to the customer because, again, we've got the expense of overseas postage, so we want to try and bundle it all into one. And then I just end up sitting on these piles of boards for way too long. So I generally, except under very, very specific circumstances, I generally don't take stuff from overseas anymore. I'm just doing Australian stuff. There's plenty of work just in this country, I can tell you. I am known by some for this, and they just contact me about it. Other people, you know, don't know of my work, and like what happened quite recently is someone in one of the Facebook groups, not even a Mac group, just a vintage computer group, said, "Does anyone know anyone who can do recapping?" And then someone said, "Oh yeah, Bruce is your man." Next thing you know, I got like message after message after message after message, you know, just from a whole stack of people who have never seen my channel before, don't know that I do recapping or anything like that, and all just saying, "Oh, I've got all these boards that I need to get recapped." It's like, oh my goodness, influx. I just completely missed these 2 caps here. I mean, I worked around one side and then I worked around the other side and then didn't do these ones at all, and that is just crazy. Okay, let's get these ones out. Just want to protect that FPU connector, floating point unit. If anyone has ever done any work with databases and understand the concept of an integer value and a float value. So an integer value is just a whole number essentially between, I think it's 1 and, what is it? I can't remember what the high number is, but never mind. So it's an integer value is a whole number. And then you have a float. A float is a more complicated number. It may be a number with a decimal place, or it might be a much, much larger number. And so that's a float number. And a floating point unit, or a math coprocessor, is essentially a chip which is designed to speed up calculations with float numbers. That's what it does. And people ask me all the time, "Can you tell the difference?" And I'm like, well, you can if you run a whole bunch of floating point numbers at the thing, you can tell the difference. But as to whether you're going to notice in day-to-day stuff, practical things, practical use, yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I put them in because they're so cheap. Get my microwave some decaps. Okay. I'm soaking an old logic board in bleach water. Ugh, nasty. Stored in a warehouse and was used as a rodent home. Oh, I've had a couple of those. Oh, Elemento, hello, how's it going? Oh, I got to read your thing. Yeah, I've got to do that this weekend. That's on the list of things to do today. So Elemento is in the process of putting together what I think is essentially going to end up being the definitive guide to SE30 CMAC. And I tell you what, there is some information in there, just what I've seen so far, which is going to be incredibly useful to anyone who has got a problem with an SE30. I may even use it. I may even use that information for fixing up Joe's SE30 that I have here. Because I really would like to get that one fixed. And I'm going to clean it up a little bit too. And that's no offense to anyone, because I know at the end of the day, the main goal with that SE30 has been getting it working first and then tidy it up later. And that, you know, but it's just, some of the wires are messing with my OCD. So now we're doing the cleaning. This is for some people, the fun part. For other people, it's the boring part. But it is a necessary step. This is the diode I was talking about before. This is the diode that is on these machines that use the 4.5 volt Rayovac battery rather than the 3.6 volt. Come on, fume extractor, extract some fumes. Rather than the 3.6 volt half AA battery. Or is it just a stick of RAM here? It's just a stick of RAM. I don't even know what it belongs to. It's probably mine. When I don't label things, they're usually mine. I have started actually now putting a label on it when things are mine, just to avoid confusion, because they end up getting mixed up with the customer things. I just need to have them identified. Is the second board I had done and had no microscope. Yeah, I know. That was why it ended up getting sent to Steve, because Steve had the old microscope. And Steve certainly spent some time on it. Now, I've mentioned a couple of things that you can potentially have wrong with the Color Classic. Namely, problems with this board here. You get gunk in between these pins, and that can stop them from working. There are also sometimes issues where some of the traces here, I think namely this one here, down below that capacitor, and I think this one here near the crystal, I think sometimes those traces don't connect through to the other side. You know, they get damaged, they get corroded or whatever and ever. And so that's one thing you really need to check with these to make sure that you've got connection there. Right, let's keep on cleaning. These are actually cleaning really easily. They haven't had a chance to really corrode at this stage. You've just got leaked electrolyte. You don't actually have the corrosion going on. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I do mark my stuff with a big JS with a paint pen. Yeah, so I've got a label printer, so I've been labeling things Branchus. Or as I sometimes say, just to confuse people, branch us. Or I could say it like Ken from the Computer Clan. He says Bronchus. Makes me sound awfully fancy. This is really cleaning easily. I'm very happy with this. This is very nice. PC power supply that went kapow every time I plugged the cord in. It wasn't reefer caps though. Don't inhale that fishy smell. I'm trying not to. I'm doing my best. I've been playing with my beige G3 tower. That's a nice computer, that one. I do like it, I have to say. I never really wanted one. I had never had any desire to have one whatsoever. I picked it up in a bulk lot of computers. Where there were some things that I really did want in that group, but you know, so I get this G3 tower, and thinking, oh yeah, okay. Oh well, at least I've got all the G3s now. I've got the desktop and I've got the tower, so it's like, yeah, okay, that's good from a collector's point of view. And I got it out and fired it up. I'm like, God, this computer's bloody awesome. I like it. I like it. I never had one at the time. Went straight from 604E computers to the blue and white. So yeah, never actually got to use a beige G3 tower at all at the time, or G3 desktop for that matter. We melted the serial number a little bit, which is disappointing, but it's bloody hard. Bloody hard to not. Bloody hard, mate. So I have a blue and yeah, I have one blue and white G3 here, and of course that does have nostalgic value for me because we definitely did use those in our studio. I have a dual processor G4, 450 megahertz. Very happy about that one. I've also got the later G4s like the only one I don't have is a Quicksilver. I've got a mirror drive door. I've got 3 mirror drive doors. Three, I think 3. Someone tried to flog another one to me the other day, and I'm like, dude, I've already got enough of these, man. Find me a Quicksilver. If you get a Quicksilver, I'm interested, but you know, I could do without any more mirror drive doors. Yeah. Retro Techie, hello there. The man, the myth, the legend. Quicksilver Oz, greetings from Brisbane. Glad you're back to live streaming on Sunday again. Hazmat suit for those fishy caps. Yeah, the day is it's just how it is. It's just however it works. I like to do a live stream during the weekend. I do often do it on Saturday because I sort of like get that out of the way, and then you know I've got the rest of the weekend to do other work and stuff like that. This time I was out yesterday virtually all day. I was out in the morning, then came home just for a very brief moment, then went out again. I was gone from 11. I didn't get home until after dark. So I went out to a lunch, a special lunch. And so sort of a benefit lunch to raise money for refugees. And they were serving Ethiopian food. Whoopsie. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Why don't I put all these up here? Weird spot for them. They're going to fall over too. Very, very precarious. Okay, so they could all fall over. All right, let's get some caps. Now, recapping guide. What do you do about getting a recapping guide? Well, there's a website called recapamac.com.au. And on that, you will find lots and lots of guides of what caps go where on certain computers. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Jay's there. Jay's switched on. Doo-doo, that's how my 4th grade teacher used to sing. Oh. Okay, here we go. Color Classic. We have 10 microfarad 16, 100 microfarad. Okay, so we've got 10 microfarad 16. Let's start with that one. I always start with the ones with the fewest numbers first. 10 microfarad, 16 volt. Here it is, going here into this little spot underneath the FPU or above it, depending on which way you're holding the board. I have actually been using, while I've been doing this live stream, I've been using Chip Quick flux. Why? Because I was talking about it before, so I had it in my hand. And I do quite like it. It's good flux. It's a very good flux. It's a nice flux. It's a clean flux. For people who like to tinker with their Macs and other retro machines, there's a leading question. Yes, I should also mention Tinker Different. It is an online forum for geeks and nerds and tech people and whatnot. And if you haven't joined, you must. It is so good. I mean, these days, I have people contact me sometimes and they just go, hey, I can't get this computer to work. What's wrong? Can you help me? And I just point them to Tinker Different. They're way smarter people than me on there. Yeah. I say yeah. Tinker Different. Ethiopian food zebra. No, it was chicken, as it turns out. I was the first. There were 2 dishes. Well, 3 dishes. There was a lentil soup. That was the entree. In Australia, entree means starters, and then the main course. Yeah. So, because I know that's different in America. In America, entree means something very different. So anyhow, so we had a soup to start off with. Then we had 2 dishes. One was sort of like a vegetarian curry. It was delicious. And then there was like a chicken curry, and that was amazing. Very spicy, but very, very tasty. 2 100 microfarad 6.3 volt caps are what we need next. I'm going to get 2 of the same. I can see one there, little stray one in there, a different brand. Can't be having that. They go, I'm pretty sure they go right here. Where did I put my guide? Oh, there it is. Yes, that's where I thought. They go nose to nose here, positives facing inwards. So let's get some flux onto here. Interesting thing about Ethiopia, I just want to sort of let people know this. It's actually quite interesting because most people, even young people today, still associate Ethiopia with famine. And that's thanks to, Sir Bob Geldof and Feed the World and all that sort of stuff. And the benefits they did, Live Aid and everything to help during the strife that was going on in Ethiopia at the time. Now that is coming up for, 40 years ago now? Something like that. And of course, Ethiopia is a very different place now. It's actually quite prosperous. It's not a lot of the strife is gone, and they're actually a very, very different country to what it was. But interestingly enough, as I say, even young people who are too young to even have experienced the whole Feed the World thing, the whole Live Aid, people that are too young for that, they still associate Ethiopia with famine. That's interesting. I just find that kind of interesting. We are the... Oh, that was the American one. That was terrible. Oh, no. Feed the World any day of the week. The one that Bob Geldof did, that was so much better. That We Are the World, We Are the Children. Oh, man, that song makes me want to puke. Blah. And it was such a reactionary thing as well. Essentially that they all rushed together and do that because they said, hey, hang on, what's going on with England taking the lead on this thing? Why haven't we done anything? So they all just scrambled and got everyone into a studio so that they could actually release their own one. So they didn't feel like they were being outdone by the Poms. One of the really annoying things with a Color Classic are those little grounding things that stick out the bottom. If you know the Color Classic, you'll know what I'm talking about quite well. They're over. Flip him over. They are these things here, like this, like that. See that? They're like that. And unfortunately, on the Color Classic, they're not actually stuck. They just kind of clip in, and they fall out all the time. One has already fallen out of this one, which I'll have to try and find and stick back in again. The later boards, like the 475, they have them, but they're actually soldered on. See, there's a missing one. Missing. I'm sticking to thinking they're starving. Yes, I've heard your famine jokes, Jay, and I have to say, I know they were quite funny. I know I'm going to hell for it, but they were quite funny. Okay, so 2 caps down. All the rest are 4716, so that should make life a little bit easy. I am completely expecting this board not to work when I fire it up, and that is because it has so much gunk on it. So we need 6 47s. I'm glad I bought a bunch of these the other day. Not a whole lot, but I was buying a whole bunch of other capacitors, and once I get past the point that I'm getting free postage, if I've ordered enough stuff, I'm getting free postage, I then just, get a few more of the little tantalum caps as well, just to keep them topped up. I like Tears Are Not Enough Better, the Canadian contribution. Never heard it, sorry. Never heard it. Saw Live Aid 1985 Live MT. Yes, I am old enough to have done that as well. Take the board out in the yard and hose it down, then it'll work great. Yes, I could do that. In actual fact, it probably would, but I would have to dry it. And we want to try and make sure we can get this tested in this live stream, and I don't want to have to wait for it to dry. So what I'll probably do is just give it a bit of a clean with some isopropyl alcohol, 99.99%, and then we'll hope for the best. And if it still doesn't work, then it'll have to go into the ultrasonic cleaner. But anyone who watches my live streams knows that a lot of the time I'll work on a board and it doesn't work, and then a few hours later I post on my Facebook that it is working, and that's because it's been through the ultrasonic cleaner. That works magic. Dishwasher. A few people put them in the dishwasher. It's not something that I'd necessarily recommend, but at the same time, a lot of people have had success with it. Just make sure you don't use the dishwashing detergent. That stuff is highly corrosive. So I wouldn't use it with detergent, just the hot water in the dishwasher if you are going to do it. And of course, make sure you rinse it afterwards with distilled water. One of the things that I see a bit here are when people have cleaned things with tap water, and then they dry them, and then they put them aside. And anyhow, few weeks, months later, they end up getting this white sort of calciumy stuff on them, this kind of scale stuff on them, because there's so many impurities in tap water. So if you are ever going to wash anything in tap water, just make sure that afterwards you rinse all that tap water off with some distilled water. Distilled water is pretty darn cheap, so, you know, no reason not to have some. I always keep loads of the stuff. The only pain about it is it's bulky. So if I'm going shopping and I'm buying lots of other stuff, I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to buy distilled water today. Well, stop it. You're stupid. You know, because it's like, oh, my trolley's already full and I want to be carrying bottles of water around as well. So I sometimes just do a special trip to get my water. Feed the world, let them know it's Christmas time again. Or I sing it like my 4th grade teacher. Feed the world. Oh dear. Crazy lady. Crazy lady. Ultimately a good human being, but flawed. Definitely flawed. And I've moved my fume extractor. Phil Connors played the drums on that song. That is correct, he did indeed. The main creative people from that were, I believe, Bob Geldof and Midge Ure. For those who know their UK pop music or know who Midge Ure is, he was originally in a band called Ultravox, or he's in bands before Ultravox, but he's probably most famous from being in Ultravox. And he did also do solo stuff, so Midge Ure, U-R-E. One, two, three more caps. Oh, I already took all the caps out, didn't I? So as long as the capacitor fairies haven't taken them, no, they haven't. They're all good. We'll plonk that on the board, and we'll put these here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, good old Ultravox. If you're my vintage, and specifically from either Australia or the UK, because here in Australia we used to get exposed to so much Britpop at the time. So, I mean, for me, the 1980s is virtually entirely UK bands and singers. And Australia. Some American, but predominantly British. Even though I was born in the 70s, I was kind of raised in the 80s, so I consider myself kind of an 80s child. And that was the sort of, that was when I got into music. I really started getting into music probably around about 1980. That would have been probably it. So for me, 80s music is very much early 80s. I started to lose interest probably around about 85, 86. Interest in pop music, that is. I didn't lose interest in music. Okay. Oh, is that a... Oh, what? I gotta go back. Ron is here. Whee! Super chat from leaving the U out of Color Classic is just pandering to people who think the metric system is the devil. Yes, it's an interesting thing. What I always do with my videos is if I'm doing a thumbnail, I spell it C-O-L-O-U-R, but when I actually put it into the description, I do it without the U, just because I know that if people are searching, the majority of people, the higher percentage of people that are searching will probably spell it without a U. I mean, YouTube is probably smart enough to figure that out. If someone does it with a U, it'll return the search. But yeah, I just do it that way. If you have a look at some of my other ones, you'll see in the thumbnail, I put the U in the thumbnail, but take the U out of the description. And of course, at the end of the day, my one doesn't even have a U in it, because mine says Performer 250 or 275 or whatever it is. I've got one of the Color Classics that's actually labelled as a Performer. For mine, for me. Big hello to Ron. Ron, thank you very much for joining. Ron joined us for the Maciac show, if you haven't watched it, and talked a lot about Kansas Fest. And we also had a good old chat about his acting career after the show. For those who don't know, not only does Ron do computery videos and stuff and things, he also moonlights as an actor, a thespian. And one of his movies, I think, is coming out in a few days. I'm very interested to see it. I don't know if I'll be able to see it. I sure don't want to pay for it, that's for sure. But I would very much like to see it. I don't even know if he can act. I've never seen any of his stuff. Can you act, Ron? I don't know. He keeps getting cast as the tall bearded guy. Don't know why. Right. I think that's it. I think that's all the caps. This is so mean, isn't it? It's just me talking. See, Ron is such a funny and quick-witted person. It's just mean of me to be saying all these things without him actually having an opportunity for rebuttal. It's just terrible. It's cruel of me. Right, just checking to make sure that I've got all the caps on and I've soldered all the sides, because it is very easy to forget to do one side or to put one cap in the wrong place or put it around the wrong way. I'm going to do my normal little test here where I just check to see that this little guy here is going through to the other side of the board. Because sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he gets damaged and doesn't go through. It's something to do with the actual print of this board, the screen printing, I guess, of this board, or whatever the manufacturing of the board. Just this little guy here is not made as well as some of the others. So we need a multimeter to test that sort of thing, don't we? Yes, we do. Oh my goodness! Look at this! Look at this! Woo! Thank you, Patrick. Non-fortnightly super chat. So, for those that aren't aware, you probably are, because a lot of you probably watch the old Maciac as well. Maciac is on every 2 weeks, and of course, in England and Australia, we have a word for things that occur every 2 weeks, and that word is fortnight. F-O-R-T-N-I-G-H-T. Fortnight. It's in 14 nights. And I just think it's such a good word. It describes it perfectly. It's like, that's the word that we use. But for some reason, a lot of people in America just don't use it. When you say fortnight, the first thing they think of is the game. But of course, the word's been around for a lot longer than the game has. I need my glasses. Here we go. Got my goggles on. Holy moly, are they dirty. Wow. Right, so we're going to just check to see this goes through the other side. You're going to get this, that super chat's going to get to stay up there for a while, Patrick, because that's a good one. That's a good one. It's a big one. Don't want anyone else to fit. Oh, wow. Feel bad. Oh, wow. Oh, no, it's okay. It was just the way the light was catching it. All right, so that's going through there. Air. Yep, okay. So, just got to find this. Man. Finding things on the other side of the board is a real pain. I think... Is that it there? Is that it? Is that it there? Nope. Nope. Okay, let's try. I think he goes to one side of this capacitor, so let's just see. Maybe not. Oh, man. My brain is hurting. Anyone else's brain hurting? So it's this switch is that, and just slightly it's off to the left there. So that'll be to the right. There's one there, someone further away. So we are going to. There's where? It's that one. It's that one. Pretty sure it's that one. This is messing with my brain. American software used for doing computer backups always has fortnightly, for example, as setting for frequency. Yes, good. And words that mean twice a year or every other year, biannual versus biennial. Fortnight just isn't used because Americans hate language. I need to, sorry, I just need to do something here. I need to go to that. I need to put this in a beepity beep mode because, there we go. That's better. Okay, we're good. And we are going to, let's try some of these. I just want to test this, and I'm not having a lot of luck with it. Sorry. I'm getting frustrated now. Stop it. Just stop, right? Just stop. Will you stop? Come on. I hate these holes. Right, so we got that. I'm sure that's it. I'm sure that is the one. It is. That's there. There's one there, and there's one, and there's one there. It's got to be that. It has to be. And that one goes to pin 2. But we're going to check. Going to check, because we're thorough here. Yeah, okay. So he's going to pin 2. Great. So we put that there on the pin 2. Oh, come on. Don't vex me. Good. Okay, we've got that established. It does go through to the other side. No damage there, so good. Bloody oath, we swear better. Going to reset my connections. Ooh, what does that mean? Is that a euphemism for something, Joe? I'm going out to a show tonight. A show. Going out to see a band called the Brand New Heavies. I think that's what they're called. All right. So I said before I was going to clean around here a little bit before firing this up for a test. And I am a man of my word. Most of the time. So a little bit of a clean here. Nothing particularly big. We'll just zip it over here onto the top view. Top view. There we go. 10-minute Tokyo 2. Hello there. Okay, cleaning away. I really need to do a follow-up on that ultrasonic cleaner vid I did, because I have found I've got so much more information now, and this is actually one of the reasons why I've had trouble actually getting that video out, because I've just got so much more information on the whole thing since I did that last video. Got to get that video done. And of course, I've just been spending all my spare time recapping these boards that keep turning up. It all works hand in hand. I mean, I don't need the ultrasonic cleaner if I don't have the boards to recap. So it's sort of, I have to recap. I need to be recapping. If I'm not recapping, why have an ultrasonic cleaner? It's just as simple as that. One thing I pay for it. Okay. Back surgery last week. That's no good. Hope you get better soon. Excuse me, buy all my milk in bags now. So it's just the bag the store puts the jug in, but once it's in the fridge, the milk doesn't know the difference. Bagged milk, wow. You need to do a recap on that video. Yes, I do. All right, okay. So here's the logic board, all recaps, nice new tantalum caps on here. I'm not going to worry about the battery. I need to contact the guy whose board it is and say, look, do you want me to try and fashion you a 4.5 volt battery out of a little AAA battery holder, which I keep a few of around here, I think, like this here. So I always keep a few of these around for folks, customers that come to me. And so you got this guy here, holds 3 AAA batteries. You then just put the connector on it from the other battery, plug him in there, Bob's your auntie. Now, that is a little bit tricky because it's so bulky, but the person might want to just go back to a half AA, in which case I'll just take that diode off, put a battery holder in there, and he'll be cooking with gas, unless he doesn't have gas on, in which case he'll probably end up having to cook with electricity. Yeah, we don't have the gas on here, so we have to cook with electricity. Electricity. Right. Did I tell everyone the bathroom's finished? I'm not sure if I mentioned that to everyone, but our bathroom renovation is finished, and we have now an absolutely bloody awesome bathroom. Thank you very much to Hans, the builder, who's an old school friend of mine, who did an absolutely spectacular job of coordinating the whole thing. And so we are no longer having to have showers outside, which is what we were having to do before. Power supply, out the way. I've got my Classic just sitting here, so I just need to get to it. Oh, excuse me, it's a nice big burp. There we go. Now, a couple of things about this Classic. It's not in the best of condition, unfortunately. That's my fault. It's my one. It's not anyone else's, but it's my one. Now, last time we tried to fire this up, we had a problem in that I couldn't get it to work with my analog board. Now, since that time, I have cleaned the analog board, and I am hopeful that it will work now. But, where is it? Is that it? Is that it? That's not it. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. So I know this is my one because it's got the rust on the top. Right. Heat packaged milk. I buy long life milk, mainly because I go through sometimes very long stages where I'm not drinking milk. And so if I have a great big thing of milk in the fridge, it'll go off. So what I do is I buy it in 1 litre long life boxes. And that way it's got a really long shelf life, and then open it and away we go. In the olden days, I used to just mix it up. I used to buy powdered milk and I'd mix it up and then just put it in bottles. I used to do that, but my wife didn't like doing that, so now I buy it. Okay, so I don't need to discharge this, okay? So don't freak out. I don't need to discharge it because it hasn't been switched on in a very, very long time. I do need to get this off though, come on. There we go. There we go. I have got a video on how you get the analog board of these out, so if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, slow down there, sir, I want to watch what you're doing. Yeah, just watch my video on it. I think it's in the featured videos, and it's there. This is the degauss cable. You know what I should have done? You know what a smarter person, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to test the logic board first, because why test two things at once? That makes it impossible to work out which one's the problem. So we're going to put this back together and we're going to test the logic board first, and then we'll test the analog board. Because if this logic board works, then we can go, okay, well that one's sorted. Now we go to the analog board. See? Who's the smart one? Me, that's who. So, what are people's opinions on sticking grounding straps back, huh? Important, not important? Jay, you can answer that question. Oops. Get back on there, you. Sausage fingers. There we go. Grounding strap. There we go. Okay, so this is an analog board which I know works. It's customer's board. It's been recapped. It's got a buzz which I need to sort out. I haven't done that yet. As I mentioned before, when boards become a problem, they generally get put to one side because of the issues I have relating to not having enough hours in the day. Okay, logic board goes in, thusly. We connect up some power. When we first switch this on, it's going to go boom. It'll be the sound of that degaussing. And then we need to switch it on with soft power. So I have to plug in a key earboard. Like this, like this, like this. Okay, keyboard gets plugged in. Right, let's see what happens. Let's see if I've got a view from the side here. Side view, is that, yay, I've got a view from the side. You can see all my mess. And you can also see a Kaiweets KM601 multimeter. Look at that, look at that beautiful big color screen. Links in the description. It is very important on this model. But it's Jay. It's Jay who's supposed to answer that question. Jay's the one that's supposed to answer the question about connecting grounding straps on CRTs. He's got his own opinions on the matter. All right, plugged in, switch him on. Got our nice big degaussy noise. And I am now going to press the power button. So are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. You can always tell when the sound is going to, well, when they're going to work. When you switch it on, and then they pop. They make a popping sound, and then you get the chime. And when you have one that's not producing sound, you don't get that pop either. So it's that kind of pop that I'm always looking for. As soon as I hear that pop, I'm like, yay! Yay! Upwards of 20 minutes just whipping mains off and on. You know, it's a funny thing, and oftentimes in Facebook where people say, oh, I got hold of this Color Classic and I switch it on, I can hear it, you know, I can hear it buzz, but then nothing else happens, you know. That's what, when I got this Color Classic, that was exactly what it was. So the person who sold this to me said that it wasn't working, and it was simply just the soft power. But yes, when people post on Facebook and they say, I've got this Color Classic and it doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. First thing I always say is just checking, not trying to be rude or not trying to make you feel stupid or anything like that, but just checking, did you know that these start up with the button on the keyboard and the switch on the back is just a standby button? And there have been a number of times where people have just said, no, I did not know that. Thank you very much for letting me know. And then the next question, where do I get hold of a keyboard for one of these? All right, well, that's beautiful. That logic board is working. I will test it more thoroughly, but generally when we get to that stage where we know we've got a sound, whether what we know works on it, we know that the ADB works, because if the ADB didn't work, it wouldn't power on with the keyboard. We know that the sound chip works, and that's one of the main problems that these have. And of course, it's coming up with a flashing question mark. So we're booting, we're getting through the whole ROM sequence. It's all posting and everything. So yeah, so that's really good. I will test it later on with a drive, but that's now got to be ultrasonically cleaned. And I need to try and find that other little clip that fell off while I was doing this. I bet you it's on the floor somewhere now. So anyhow, that's in the ultrasonic clean pile. Actually, I need to keep that, don't I? Because I want to test the other analog board. So he'll be coming back. Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. I actually converted this computer into a Mystic. A lot of people may know of the Mystic conversion. Again, I have a video on that if people are interested. But I converted this into a Mystic. And that was all great, and I loved having this as a 68040 computer. It was wonderful. But I had to convert it back because I get way more. I've only got one of these, and I've got way more Color Classic logic boards to test than I do like LC 575. So I had to basically change it back so that I could test all my Color Classics in it. I've been trying to get hold of another one, but it's just hard. Everyone wants one. It's not like people are going to give them up. Yeah. All right, I'm going to discharge this just to be safe. It's not going to need it really, but you know, we're all about safety here at Branch Arse. So clippity 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 clip, clippity clip. These things do actually have a bleeder resistor on them. So essentially what that means is once you power it down, it just gradually lets the power come out of that, you know, sort of out of the whatever this section is called. I know this is an anode cap, but I don't know what it actually plugs into. The hole that the anode cap goes into, how about that? Okay, out she comes. Now we're going to start whipping this out. Cool whip. Can't have pie with that cool whip. I don't even know what cool whip is. We don't have it here. Come on, off. There is one product that I heard of, read about somewhere. It's an American product that we don't have here. And I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a mayonnaise substitute. Oh my God, it sounds disgusting. As someone who loves their mayonnaise, I'm not sure that I could ever handle having a mayonnaise substitute. Now, to get the analog board out, obviously you've got to unplug all those things. And as I mentioned before, I do have a video on doing this to try and make it nice and easy. Was that soldering stream with Dan and Steve a one-time thing? Not necessarily. I mean, look, I always love doing collaborative stuff with Dan. He often streams earlier. When he does his streams, he often streams while I'm still asleep. And that one he streamed a little bit later so that I could jump on, because it was something we'd actually talked about when he said he was going to start doing his own recapping, going to start using a soldering iron. I said, well, look, when it comes to do that, you know, I'm happy to give you some training and we can turn it into a live stream. So that was what we did. Oh wow, this thing's got capability for green screen, so I could stick like a green screen behind me and make it look really professional. So yeah, I mean, look, I you know, Dan is one of my favourite people. He is just such a fun guy. So I've got a video that I'm in production, where he is going to have some input in it, but only quite small. But yeah, we could probably do another soldering vid, I guess. We'd have to just try and figure out what we could do to be entertaining. But yeah, Miracle Whip, is that what it's called? What are people's opinions on Miracle Whip? Because my goodness me, as I say, I read about it and I thought that sounds disgusting, but it might be sensational. So fantastic with bologna and cheap yellow cheese. Bologna. All recycled vaudeville humour, according to Seth MacFarlane. Yes, yes. I mean, I would definitely believe that. It's like the old Marx Brothers stuff, you know. God, I mean, that stuff is still so entertaining today. Well, to me, it is anyway. Miracle Whip is blah. Sounds gross. Yeah, it does. Mayo is fine. Miracle Whip is gross. Is bologna salami. So it's interesting that that's the way bologna is spelt, B-A-L-O-N-E-Y, because isn't it? It comes from the word Bologna, B-O-L-O-G-N-E. But yeah, it's if I understand what bologna is, it's like a processed meat. It's kind of like a. It doesn't really look like anything. It doesn't look real. It looks kind of plastic because it's kind of this processed stuff. So it's like, you know, I think it's made from pork, and it's just made out of their sort of necks and assholes, and they grind it up and form it into a great big sausage and then slice it. So let's set the record straight here. There is no substitute for mayo. Anything else is just gross. Well, you know, it's not really a substitute. I mean, mayo is mayo. I mean, you know, mayo is so easy to make. I don't know why there would need to be a substitute for it. And it's basically just vegetable oil and egg. I mean, that's it. And then you add a little bit of seasoning to it. And you can make mayo at home, you know, really, really easily. I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand. It's confusing. I'm so confused. But anyhow, yeah, I've never tried Miracle Whip. They don't sell it out here. I don't imagine I ever will try it unless I go over to the US. Oh, that's for me. So this can go, I need that. This can go over here for now. I need this. Oh. How are we doing? Is cheap a hot dog? Okay, yeah, that's a very good analogy. Yeah, bologna does look like sort of like a hot dog sliced open. Okay. Is mayo possibly vinegar? Yeah. Yes, because I mean, the wonderful thing about mayonnaise is you can then turn it into other stuff. I mean, if you get mayonnaise and you mix it up with, I don't know, a bit of, you know, sort of chipotle or something like that, or you mix it up with, you know, chopped up sort of pickles and stuff like that. I mean, you can turn it into tartare sauce, you know, add some pickles and capers and stuff like that. I mean, once you have mayonnaise, it's a fantastic base for then making a whole stack of different condiments. Love the stuff. It's great. How good is it? All right. So this is my analog board, which wasn't working before. And we are hoping that after a go in the ultrasonic cleaner, that this one will be happy chappy again. Last time, I think was it just blowing fuses or something? I can't remember. I can't remember what it was doing, but it certainly wasn't working. Yeah, it was blowing fuses. So I'm probably going to have to replace the fuse because it's probably blown. It had a weird size in there. I know because Kai was there and he was explaining why it had a weird size. Because Kai knows everything. Seafood sauce with mayo. I don't know what seafood sauce is. It's probably something that we have, but we probably call it something different. Craving Spam right now. Freaking love Spam. Love that stuff. I mean, you know, it gets a bad rap because of, you know, the association with wars and whatnot. But it is tasty stuff. It's not good for you. I mean, again, it's more just sort of necks and assholes, and it's just, you know, got loads of salt in it, and it's fatty and all that. But boy, oh boy, it tastes good. Yummo. What is it? What's the company called? Hormel or something like that. Yum. Yum, 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 yum. Wow, that's the sound of all our wine bottles going into the bin. Because I'm just an old pisshead. Yeah, mate, just an old pisshead. I don't like any sort of canned meat, really. Yeah, I mean, you know, say what you want about Spam. I mean, really, I get it's not quality. You know, it is not good quality stuff. You're much better off getting sort of like a nice ham off the bone or something like that. Beautiful. Yes, I get it. I get that. But I just cannot argue with the fact that it tastes so freaking good. And I just, you know, sometimes I just cannot deny my Spam desires. Always keep a tin of this stuff. You know, I've done this sometimes where I cook things like, you know, I might make some ham and cheese scrolls or something like that. You know, so you make some dough up, you lay it out flat, you put in some cheese, some mozzarella cheese and stuff like that, and you put some ham in there and maybe some caramelized onions or something. Then you roll it up, then you slice them, and then you cook them, and they bake outwards into these scrolls. You know, and I make those from time to time, and they're really, really tasty. There are times when I make those, and people are like, "Oh my God, that ham is so tasty! Which ham did you use for that?" And it's like, it's Spam. You know, it's like, I mean, it just tastes so freaking good. But everyone's just embarrassed to say it. You just lie. You say, "Oh, it's a little secret, not telling you." Ketchup on chips is good. I'm not a sauce on chips person. I like gravy on chips. Not all the time, but occasionally I like a bit of gravy on chips. But yeah, generally don't use sauce with chips that much. I generally don't put sauce on pies and sausage rolls either. But I put sauce on just about everything else, including lasagna. Yeah, I said it. Okay, I'm going to have to change this fuse because this one is popped. Let's go. There we go. Hello, Mr. Fuse. Hello, Mr. Pop Fuse. It could just pop again. I don't know if anyone remembers when I did the live stream where this popped, and I actually managed to get it on camera. It went pew, supernova. Chips as in fries or crisps? Yes, of course. Sorry, chips as in hot chips, as in what Americans call fries. We call those chips. We also call the crisps chips as well. You just know which one you're talking about based on the context. And of course, if there is some confusion about what you mean, we might then refer to, crisps as crisps, just to clarify. But yes, no, we don't use the word fries here at all. And of course, the other thing is that if we're talking about fries, we would tend to associate that with like shoestring, like the really thin fries that like you get at McDonald's. Whereas for me, if I'm getting chips, I would much rather a big, thick chip, one big, thick one, or even crinkle cut ones. So I generally don't, the little thin ones like you get at Macca's, I generally don't do them much at all. Okay, what have we got here? We have got 3 amp. So let's get my little container of fuses. Fuses confuses. That's not going to work. I need something under there to stop this from falling over. I just removed my balance. Stay. No, you're not staying, are you? Now you stay. Okay, let's try 3 amp, shall we? Taco meatloaf, I don't know about that. I'll tell you the one thing that we have out here, which you probably have in America under a different name, but that is a doner kebab. They are just the best. $500 milliamp. No, we don't want that. What have we got here? That's 1 amp. That's 2 amp. I'm looking for a 3 amp here, basically. Well, that's a fat one. 250 volt. 10 amp. No wonder it's so fat. What about this one? 250 volt. 5 amp. Too much. Let's see if I can maybe do this with a microscope. This will be easier because I can't see very well. It's my old eyes. Last time I was looking for one, I found a 3 amp so freaking fast. Maybe it was the only one in there. Yes, they should all be in separate compartments. Ah, got one. They should all be in separate compartments, but they're not. So, sue me. Oh yeah, I love Pink Floyd too. Pink Floyd, Van Halen, yes, for sure. One of my favourite albums is Wish You Were Here. Just love that album. I can just listen to that any freaking time. I love it. Very interesting. That one of the songs in that, which is Have a Cigar, that's one of the hits from the Wish You Were Here album. The interesting thing about that, people may or may not know this, but it's not actually a member of Pink Floyd singing that. It's a guy called Roy Harper, I think, the guy's name. Basically, they were recording it in the studio. They were having trouble getting it to work. The sound guy, Roy Harper, was in a studio next door recording something and asked Roy Harper if he wanted to come in and have a crack at singing it. And it's been a bit of a bone of contention because the guys in Pink Floyd basically felt they would get it. They hadn't got it yet, but they felt they would get it. And so the fact that it wasn't a member of Pink Floyd singing that song. Let's Have a Cigar from Wish You Were Here. Wish You Were Here, which is largely an album about what's his name, the one that went nuts. He's dead now. I can't remember his name. Sid Barrett. Does that sound right? Does that sound right? Sid Barrett. Okay, now what we're going to do, because of what happened last time, I want to have a crack at Diver Down is good. 1984 is my favourite, but that probably has something to do with the age that I am, you know. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in on this fuse, so if it does go supernova, we'll get a nice view of it. There it is. See the fuse right there? I'm not looking forward if it does, but you know. So I'm not even going to connect up the logic board yet because last time it just popped straight away. So we've got that in there. We're hoping that it will no longer pop, but you know, hoping doesn't always cut it. Thoughts and prayers. Okay. All right. We're ready? I'm a bit freaked out actually. You ready? Oh, far out. I hate it when I'm pretty sure things are going to go pop. Ready? And 3, 2, 1. Ha, yep, it went. Ow. Ow, I just hit my shoulder. Ow. Ow. I moved it too fast. Ouchie. All right. Okay. Was Jay watching that? Because if Jay was watching that, he'll probably come back to me with a still frame of that soon. Ah. Ouch. Oh man, that really hurt my shoulder. I just jerked at a really bad position. It's been bad. So now I have to go further. So I've now got to go in and try and find where the problem is. I guess probably one of the first places I'll look, it will be here. When you have those sorts of immediate fuse pops, one of the places I tend to look at first will be this here. This is the bridge rectifier. And what that is, it's a series of diodes. It's all in one package, but it's a series of diodes that help direct the AC power into DC power. So they go through this loop of diodes, and when the AC power is moving in one direction, it lets power go through one diode, and then when it moves in the other direction, it lets them through other diodes. And so you end up with alternating power going in and direct power coming out the other side. Then it just needs to go through a capacitor to smooth out the flow. But that's what this guy is here, bridge rectifier. And I often find when you have that immediate fuse pop like that, oftentimes it is the bridge rectifier that's gone. It may not be in this instance, but it's certainly one of the first places I'll check. Yeah, it's unplugged. It is unplugged. It's not plugged in. This is where it would be if it was plugged in, but it's not plugged in. So anyhow, that analog board is still unhappy. So be it. That's just how it is. I don't think it will have got any power here, but we still do the safe thing. Ouchie. So yeah, more work needs to be done on this. I didn't notice that analog board buzzing. The one that was buzzing before didn't seem to be buzzing this time. Maybe it wasn't. I just didn't notice it. It's rather annoying. This analog board used to work. What is the clear paste you have? N62 BMW, hello there. What is the clear paste you have? Can you clarify what clear paste you are referring to? Blaming the capacitors. This one's already been recapped. Yeah. There's a short somewhere. Something is causing a short. I'll tell you what, you know what we're going to do? Actually, I don't even know how to test an all-in-one bridge rectifier. I know how to test a bridge rectifier that's a whole series of diodes. You just test the diodes. But in terms of testing an all-in-one, I've got no idea. I need a brainy person to tell me that. Okay. What are you doing in here? You're not meant to be in here. It's chicken. Hello, chicken. Little white chicken. Okay. He goes down here. Let's make a space for him. Woo. 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 Why is this on the floor? That's not meant to be on the floor. He has a spot up here. It's wrong. Floor is no place for you. I probably should change this view now. This is a little bit stupid. Because they were given to me. I had some 78s back in the day. I think I had was it Bing Crosby singing White Christmas? I picked them up from a junkyard. They were heavy too because they were like cardboard inside. They were like paper with the vinyl on top. Paper with vinyl on. There. I've forgotten how to talk today. Okay. There we go. Right. So, some successes and failures today. Success in that we got a classic logic board recapped. I actually have to recap the analog board for the same Color Classic because the person sent me the analog board as well, so I'm going to do that. 2 diode drops from each of the AC to ground V out, I think. We could try that. We could try that. Oh. Because there may be something obvious. I haven't even inspected this board. There might be something really obvious that's gone wrong. Something touching or something like that. Something like that. It's certainly around this area that I'll be looking for that immediate fuse blow. God, that resistor ain't looking too crash on. Might have to test that with a Kaiwitz KM601 Smart Digital Multimeter. True RMS. Links in the description. I can't remember if I told this story in my last live stream, but I had tradesmen here doing work, and he wanted to just check, see if some wires were live. So he just came up to me and said, "Do you have a multimeter?" And I'm like, "Do I have a multimeter?" Links in the description. Right. So was I going to do anything? Oh, that's right. I wanted to test a resistor, because I just didn't like the look of it. Yeah. Oh wow, that surely ain't right. That really does not feel right at all. Let's have a look at this. This wobbles like a wobbly thing. Cool. I'm so glad that this software that I use for my live streams records all of the live chat. It stores it all in a text file after every live stream that I do. And the video, of course, for that matter, but there's all the chat there I get as a text file. And that is really, really handy, because when people like, who is it? The Cadoo gives me information like that about testing my bridge rectifier. I can then refer back to it when I have the time. So this, oh wow, okay, yeah, okay. So the pads, this is being lifted off. It's because of the heat. I'm just going to lift this up and we'll have a look. Okay. So this area here, you can see it gets very, very hot. It's actually one of the real problems with the old Color Classic. It's the power supply is, it's not really up to the job. And so you can see all this stuff. You get all this discoloration around here from it being too hot. But look at this. Look at that. There, and then we got here as well. Look at that. I mean, is that even? You get the beepity beep mode. We'll just have a look. I'm not sure if that's even connected. No, it is. It is connected, but wow, it ain't good. That ain't meant to wobble like that. Make no mistake. This is where I did the work to revert this back to a normal classic and not a Mystic, because I did the mod. See, this is all. Hello, chicken. Too much heat. Too much heat. I reckon if I have a good old look here, I'm going to find something really nasty. Piece of sticky tape. See, I still wouldn't imagine this would be causing a fuse to go. I wouldn't have thought. I mean, it's not good, but I wouldn't have thought it would be making a fuse pop. Is it this one? Yeah. Just going to check the resistance across that. What are you doing? Oh, hang on. I didn't want that. Okay, let's check this. 12, 11, 10, 11 kilo ohms. I'm guessing that's going to be a 10k resistor. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at one here that's not destroyed. That is a 15. Okay, no worries. A little bit less. It's obviously power's coming through a different way. Generally, when you're testing a resistor, if you're testing it in circuit, if the resistance is less than is labelled, that's fine. The electricity could be finding its way around to the leads somewhere else on the board. But if the resistance is greater than the measurement of the resistor, then you could be pretty sure that that resistor's gone, because you should never, it should never read as higher when you're testing it in circuit. It has the potential to read lower, but not higher. So that one was reading a little bit lower. Yeah. Anyhow, that one's for another day. I'm not going to be doing that one today. There's too much concentration involved for that one there. And, brain. It's just not good. Okay, so I think I'm probably going to wrap this up now. I mean, I've been going for around about 2 hours, and that's sort of what I said. I've got about 43 people sitting here at the moment. I do apologise because it is actually starting to build up now. I should just keep going. Brackets, the joint on that large resistor to the board looks like it was cracked separated. Yeah, I don't think it was actually cracked. It might have just been the light catching it, but it was certainly messy. I've got to sort something out. I've got to fix that up somehow or other. I've got to find a way of maybe sticking that down. I've got some component adhesives. I might be able to do it with a bit of UV mask or something. I've got to get that sticking firmly down on the board so it's not wobbling like that. That's just, it's bad. That's bad. Oh, Justin is here. Hello. My apologies for not saying hello sooner, Justin. Actually, I don't think I've said hello to Jeff Barnard either, so hello. Dead shorted cat maybe, possibly. I recapped most of the caps, not all of them. So it might be a different one of the caps that I didn't recap. I recapped all the ones that are very prone to problems on that board. It's just weird because it just stopped working all of a sudden. But anyway, that's how things go. So just going to catch up on in the chat here. If anyone, just before I finish, if anyone has any questions, anyone needs to ask me anything or confirm something, just reminder to everyone to check out the old Tinker Different, tinkerdifferent.com. Great online forum with lots of people providing help and giving fantastic information. You've got some of the cleverest people I've ever met. Whoops, I'm playing with my microphone. Some of the cleverest people I have ever met on that forum, helping people out, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's just really good. Go for it, VHS. What's your question? I'm staying to Bruce signed off. Yeah. I mean, it's anyone who watches my live streams basically knows that it's often quite some time between when I say I'm going to finish now and when I do actually sign off. I tend to just sort of waffle a little bit. If you have an auto transformer, hook it up at lower voltage and check for the component getting hot. Yeah, I could do that. I mean, I certainly know how to do that with DC, but I don't know how to do that with AC. I've never done it before. So this is happening at the AC end. This is happening at the, I think. I suppose I could always start removing some components. But since you're already working on the analog board, do you know the value of that typically burning resistor near the 3300 UF cap? So this is on the, we're talking about the Color Classic. Do you know the value of that typically burning resistor near the 3300 microfarad cap? Let me have a look. Let me have a look. this is the 3300 one you're talking about. So I better change the camera view, hadn't I? I've got a stupid view at the moment, looking at my fat head. Okay, so are you talking about this 3300? Yeah. And you are talking about these diodes down here that burn? No, the resistor. Or is it this resistor, the burning resistor? This burning resistor? So do you know the label of that resistor so that I can be looking at the right thing? I am currently looking at RF19, if that's the one you're thinking about. That 3300 cap, by the way, that is a problem cap. If you're working on one of these computers, you really want to get that one replaced. That is it, isn't it? That's the 3300. Okay. Yes, that's the one with the glue on both sides. Yes, okay, I can tell you what he is. He is. I might have to look at it with the microscope there. Now, okay. I mean, I can always just measure it, can't I? Oh, there's one underneath it as well. Okay, but the one with the glue on both sides, it's 4-band. It's like orange, white, black, and gold. But I'll measure it. I will, because we're here. We can do that. Easy for me to do it now than do it later. $375 ohms, something like that. So, does anyone here memorize all these colors? Because I don't. I can look it up. I am going to look it up. I'm going to get my little app that I use here, and it's called Toolkit. Resistor Toolkit is what it's called. Look at that. We go on to 4-band, and then I go, what is it? Orange, white, I think it's black. White, black, and gold. It says 39 ohms. So it must not be black, because it must be like 390 or something. Grey? No. Black, brown? No, 390. Is it brown? Maybe it's brown and not black. Let's see if I can clean it and find out. Brown is one, then count up. Well, so the first one is orange. I mean, it feels to me, just based on what I was testing there, I reckon it's 390 ohms, which would make it orange, white, brown, gold. But it's just it's just discoloured, you know. I've got two boards here. The other one might be a bit clearer, so I'll check that one. So yeah, I mean, orange, white, colour and gold, and I think it's brown because it did seem to be reading around about the 300 and something. Orange, white, black, yes, but I'm just not sure it's black. I'm not sure. Let me get the other board. The other board might give us more clues, or less. Oh crap! Just dropped it. Yeah, that looks less black. That looks brown to me. Let's just jump across to the microscope. Scope view. Look at that. Orange, white, brown, gold. So that is 390 ohms, which would fit with what I actually measured there. So I'll just check. So there you go, 390 ohms. And if I was you, I would get the highest wattage resistor you could, because as we know, this one gets blazingly hot. Yeah, this one's reading 370 odd, so yep, 390 sounds around about fine to me, so there you go. See orange, yellow, brown, gold. Is that what you see? It's orange, so we're going backwards here. Orange, white. If you're not seeing that as white, that's probably just because of color balance issues with the camera. Orange, white, brown, gold. Orange, white, brown, gold. Orange, white, brown, gold. Orange, white, brown, gold. That's what we have. And so that gives us our magic figure of 390 ohms. Now, do I have one of that size that I can then put into the matter transmitter and send across to you? 460. 300, 390. Yes, I do have some 390s, but they're only small ones, so I'm not sure I'd actually use them for this purpose. I think I'd try and get some bigger ones, bigger, higher wattage ones. Higher watt. Stupid colour balance. Yeah, I know. All right, so that was one question, but there was another question, wasn't there? That was one from VHS. He was going to have a question. Let me just have a look here. I've got to scroll back. The soldering related stream, could I get in on it? I have some SMD memory chips that I want to take from one board to another. Well, the next video that I'll be doing on soldering is about surface mount soldering, and I have already recorded quite a bit of that, and I'll be editing that together at some stage in the future. I basically need to write up an intro, need to explain stuff, and then I'm going to be providing a whole series of tips for surface mount soldering, lots of different types of components. The problem is there's no real all-in-one you can do with surface mount soldering. When it comes to through hole, it's kind of like you stick the pin through and then you solder it. When it comes to surface mount, you do it differently for different components. Well, I do anyway. I've got a particular way of doing it for certain components. So if I'm doing it with, I don't know, a little ceramic capacitor or a little tiny resistor or something like that, I'm going to solder that in a particular way. If I'm going to be soldering a chip like this, a PLCC chip, I've got a particular way of doing that. If I'm going to be soldering a chip like this, which is a, was it QF, I don't know, something, whatever. If I'm going to be doing that, I'm going to be doing that one differently. So I am trying to produce sort of a video on explaining that. And of course I did also explain quite a bit of that in the video I did with Dan the Man, Mr. Canadian Computer Collector, when we went through the process of teaching him how to do surface mount soldering. I had a little kit like this, and we surface mount soldered that, and that involved, sort of a few little surface mount chips and stuff like that. And then if we inject some power into this, I think it was 5 volts this needed to run. I'll certainly kill it if it wasn't. And there we go. There we go. Oh, no we don't. Far out. That's busted. Busted. I'm going to have to get a new one of those. What about that? This one looks a bit better. So we're going to plug that in there. We're going to plug that in there. We're going to switch this on. We're going to take this up to, not 13 volts. How about just 5? I'm doing a review on a power supply soon because this one's starting to annoy the hell out of me. And I want to start using a different one. So someone, Kai Wheats, I might say, Kai Wheats actually sent me a bench power supply to review. It's up there in a box. I'm going to be doing that soon. I'm going to be reviewing it, and hopefully if it's good, I'm going to start using it instead of this one, because this one just annoys me. Okay. Whee! So this is what we did. This is the kit that we did with Canadian Computer Collector. A lot of these components on the side that aren't soldered, they don't actually need to be there. They're just practice components. These are the ones that actually make it work. So yeah, isn't that pretty? All right, one more question. There's a pair of diodes near that resistor in the question 90 degrees across. Can't read numbers due to scorch marks, but one of them might say DL22. Yeah, I thought you were going to ask about those, but yeah, they are always scorched, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to read them on mine, but we will try. I know the exact ones you're talking about. Oh, okay. I can see 1N59. 1N59. Might even have some of those actually. I can put those in the matter transmitter. Microdiodular servo systems. What do we got? I've got 1N. Let's have a look. I can't read that because my eyes are bad. Eyes are bad. 1N 40 something, I think. 1N34. What are these ones? These are big Fiat ones. These are huge. Oh yes, this is true. Yes, I should actually mention, I haven't mentioned that, and people are probably all dropping off now, but I do have a Patreon. If anyone feels compelled, anyone actually feels compelled to become a patron, we're in the capacity of a small monthly donation. Please feel free to do so. It will be welcomed. Don't feel under any obligation to do so. But if you decide you would like to do that, you are welcome to do so. I'm still kind of working on making sure that I get some useful stuff, some interesting stuff for my Patreon patrons. But yes, there will be early release stuff and things like that. So this is a 1N40. Oh god damn. 1N49. 1N49. What was these? What did I say he was? There. Oh, crap. Crap. 1N59. What are these ones? These are... I just can't read anything without my microscope now. These stupid little letters. N4007, and the last one I have here is 1N34 or something. Anyhow, so I don't have those diodes, but at least you now know what you're after. 1N59, that's what you need. That's you shouldn't have any trouble finding those. Steve's here. Hello, Steve. You turned up just in time for me to finish. I was wanting to finish at 1 o'clock. It's now 10 past 1. Look at me. I'm terrible. Terrible. We just recapped a Macintosh Color Classic board. Worked perfectly first time, so it's always nice when that happens. Press the wrong button. So yeah, it worked perfectly. It's always nice when that is the result of a recapping. Okay, before I finish, any more questions? Did I answer your question, VHS? You said you were going to say. And I'm just looking here. Or was that the question about the soldering surface mount? I think that was your question. Yeah, that was your question. Cool. All right. So, who's streaming next? Anyone? Justin? Steve? Jay? Anyone streaming next? We've managed to get through a lot of stuff today. We've worked out that Miracle Whip is disgusting. We've worked out that Spam has a bit of a stigma, but is quite tasty. We've worked out that... what else? We've worked out that Van Halen and Pink Floyd are awesome. What else? I mean, it's been really, really important stuff. Really important stuff. So, yeah. Macca! Andrew McNaughton. Is that the Andrew McNaughton that I know well? Or is it a different Andrew McNaughton? If it is the Andrew McNaughton that I know well, thank you for joining me. We are in Australia, and of course anyone with a surname that's MAC is going to end up Macca. So that's my mate Macca. Yeah. Miracle Whip is disgusting. Yet we think. Now Vegemite is nasty, and that, of course, that does depend where in the world you are, because I do quite like Vegemite. Wish I was streaming next. I'm editing scripted videos. Oh, good on you. That's excellent. It is. Well, thank you for joining. I do hope you enjoyed whatever bit you watched. I mean, it's we're getting to the tail end here, but you might have actually missed all of the interesting stuff. And I say interesting in quotes, because let's face it, at the end of the day, it's all subjective, isn't it? But anyhow, thank you very much for joining. So, to everyone who has joined the live stream, what are we sitting on? About 40 odd people at the moment. So, I am sorry that I'm leaving you all, but hang on. I just got a super chat from Justin. It's coming up on the screen. Thanks for streaming. You are most welcome. And I thank you for your streams when you stream as well. So, oh God, I've still got to get those chips across to Jay for your bloody 2CI. I've got to try and do that today. God, I've got so much to do. Anyhow, I have had a lovely time. Thank you all for keeping me company, and glad we sorted all those things out, like things like Miracle Whip, because, you know, that's the important stuff in life. Thank you for the super chats, everyone who has shown their generosity. Thank you very much. Don't forget to go out and buy yourself a Kaiweets KN601 multimeter if you don't have one. Links are in the description. In actual fact, virtually everything in the description there is a link to, is an affiliate link, which means that if you buy it, I will get a little bit. It doesn't cost you any more. You get the same price, but then I just get a little bit of the sale price, and it sort of it does help me out. All of that stuff, all of the money that I get from that does always go straight back into the channel. So thank you very much. Have a very good evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it happens to be in your part of the world. I do hope you join me at the next live stream, and I will say now, bye.